Have you ever tried to tell someone that you were being abused, and they looked at you and said, "But there's no proof, they don't seem like that kind of person"? Or maybe the sentence that hurt the most, "Are you sure you're not overreacting?" And suddenly you're carrying two kinds of pain, the pain of what happened to you and the pain of nobody believing you. Because not every wound leaves a bruise. Some wounds live in your confidence, in your sense of safety, in the way you begin questioning your own memory. And sometimes, the hardest part of surviving emotional abuse is surviving it while everyone around you thinks you're perfectly fine. Abuse isn't always someone putting their hands on you. Sometimes it's the constant criticism, the humiliation, the threats, the manipulation, the silent treatment, the control. The way someone makes you feel guilty for having a boundary. The way every disagreement somehow ends with you apologizing. You say, "That really hurt me," and they say, "You're too sensitive. You remember exactly what happened." They tell you, "That's not what happened." You try to explain yourself, and somehow you're the one defending your character. After a while, you start becoming quieter. You stop bringing things up. You start choosing your words carefully. You start walking on eggshells. And eventually, you may not even recognize yourself anymore. You may not even recognize yourself anymore. Here's something people don't always understand. The person who hurts you may not look like a person who hurts people. They might be charming, kind, successful, funny. They might be the person everyone loves. They know how to behave in public. And that can make your story incredibly difficult to explain, because people saw the version of them that they were given. You experienced the version they kept behind closed doors. So when you finally say, "This person is hurting me," people may look at you with disbelief, and that disbelief can make you question yourself. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I'm making too much of it. Maybe it really is my fault. No. Someone else's inability to see what happened does not erase what you experienced. And this is where the pain can become incredibly lonely. Because you don't just want someone to solve it. You want someone to say, "I believe you. I hear you." When you don't hear those words, you can end up carrying the entire experience by yourself. And if you've been told repeatedly that your feelings aren't valid, you may start looking for evidence to proof that you're truly being abused. But listen to me. You don't need a visible bruise to know that something damaged you. You don't need a recording of every conversation. You don't need everyone in your life to agree with your version of events before you're allowed to acknowledge that something was wrong. Your experience deserves to be taken seriously. So how do you heal from something like this? First, you begin believing yourself again. If you're safe enough to do so, write things down. What happened? What was said? How you felt? What patterns you noticed? Not because you need to build a case for everybody else, but because you're rebuilding your connection with your own reality. Second, stop measuring the validity of your pain by someone else's reaction. Someone saying, "I don't see it," doesn't mean it wasn't there. Third, start rebuilding your boundaries. You don't have to keep explaining why something hurts you. You don't have to keep arguing with someone who has already decided not to understand. And if you're still in the relationship and you feel unsafe, please don't confront someone simply because a video told you to. Think about your safety first. Reach out to someone you trust. And finally, give yourself permission to grieve. You may grieve the person you thought they were, the relationship you hoped you would have, the years you feel you lost. Healing doesn't mean pretending none of it mattered. It means refusing to let what happened become the rest of your life. There comes a moment when healing becomes less about proving your story and more about trusting your own voice again. I know what I lived through. I know how it made me feel. And I know I deserve something healthier. who trusts her instincts and protects her peace. And when it gets tough, you can reach out to a qualified therapist, counselor, domestic violence that can help you think through your situation safely. Who trusts her instincts. And if you've been carrying a story nobody believed, I hope, at least today, you believe yourself. You deserve to heal. Until next time, I am JoJo, and this is The Healing Voice. Enjoy the rest of your day.